Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Got the carbon fiber UL-19 build on the block. Today we're going to be working on water cooling for the motor and speed control. Okay, I'm basically going to use what I have. I got these oversized carbon fiber cooling lines here that I used in my last build with the boat. It actually worked out pretty good. It saves a few grams in weight, a couple grams. All right. Yeah, no, I'm gonna probably use black and blue cooling line. I didn't really order anything for the boat. It's just what I have, okay? I actually, in previous videos, we did a carbon fiber inlay, seam reinforcement on the boat, custom carbon fiber servo mount, and a rail style 40mm motor mount, okay? So stick around, you guys. Gonna run some water cooling. Let's get to it. So I've already got my outs run. Okay, these are this is just the cooling line. I drilled a perfect hole and I have like a brass tube in my line to hold the tube in place in the hole. It works really good. It's cheap. You guys know I'm a cheap ass. We're going to be using a blast pickup probably for the motor and the rudder pickup for the speed control. Okay, I made this. I have a video on how to make a blast pickup. Basically just kind of bolt it right up to my strut. Boom, boom, boom. Ready to roll. Okay, so I've already got my ends, my holes drilled for my cooling lines in the boat. So we'll just kind of press fit the lines in and get them run to the carbon fiber cooling line. Now on my last build I had the tray, you know, the electronics tray in the boat I had to contend with, so I basically stacked my carbon fiber cooling lines. I stacked them up like this on top of each other. So I'm actually contemplating, or I think I am going to actually run my cooling lines under the motor, one on each side of the stuffing tube. Run under the motor, the line will come out under the motor here, and one to the ESC, one to the motor. This is actually the Bro line, and the black cooling line is from OSE. You can also get it from ZIPKITS and OXIDEAN Marine. 4mm inside diameter on my cooling line, 8mm outside diameter if you guys are interested. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them slid into my through hole here. Basically just a tight fitting hole. In the hull. They have specific grommets for cooling lines that goes through the hull. All right, you can get a bulkhead grommet, which is basically like a threaded piece like this with another like nipple on the other side. Okay, or you can get grommets like this. Alright, these grommets actually go in the hole like that. You glue them in and then your cooling line glues right into it. Alright, or on some of my boats I've actually made a nipple out of a brass tube. I just cut a little slither of brass tube, soldered it onto another long piece of brass tube and put it in my hole like that. Epoxied it in from the inside. You know what I'm saying? That works too. That's a good through hole. So there's a couple ways to do it. On this particular boat here, I'm just using a grommet. That grommet right there was to reduce the size of the stock hole. They had a cooling barb, like a through hole barb going through it, and it was oversized. So I just kind of I just put a grommet in there, glued it in place. You know, pretty easy. So I got my cooling line through the hole here. All right, both of them. Okay, and I guess my rudder. Like I said, I think that's going to go to the speed control because it cools the best. The blast pickup's hit or miss. I may switch that up later on, so I'll probably leave a little extra length. You know, this XLX2, it don't need much cooling. And we're going to be pushing this 2200 kV hard. So we may actually switch the rudder and make it go to the motor. You know, depending on which one's the hottest on our first few runs. You know, just kind of feel it out, I guess, your first few runs. So I got my oversized cooling line right here. I'll give you guys a outside diameter measurement. Zero it out. So it's actually 7.4, 7.5 millimeter. bow and arrow tube. Okay, that's what that is, bow and arrow tubes. All right, one of them's longer than the other one, just a hair. So the one with the shorter cooler line, I think I'll go, well, see if I can go to the motor with that one. So let's go ahead and hook up the motor. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get this cooling line on over that bigger. That's almost just as big as the outside diameter of the actual silicone cooling line. So I'm going to press fit it on here, force it on here, and we're going to find out where we want to run it at. I'm going to probably put about 5 or 7 millimeters on the actual cooling line, so it don't blow off, because we're actually going to be doing some major speed runs with this boat. I've been taking my time with the build, hence the reason I hadn't posted a video here lately. I've also been working on my drag boat dead ahead. So we definitely don't want that pulling off, you know, blowing off. It's a tight fit. I highly doubt that's going to blow off of there. It didn't blow off on my last boat, so let's see if we can get it under the motor here. That's where I want to run it at. One on each side, boom, and then one on the other side, boom. Okay, so I know it fits because I've already test fitted it, so I'm going to kind of finagle it in there. All right. And I may end up later on making like a little holder for each tube. This is like going to be the final resting place, you know. In the meantime, we'll just kind of see if we can make it work here. So I'm actually going to run my cooling line to the motor. I've already got it cut to size. Well, not really, it's just the size I had, and it's actually perfect, so we're going to roll with it. So I'm going to go behind the motor wires. This is the jacket I'm going to use. I was wanting to run this OXIDEAN jacket, and I may very well do it. If I end up using this jacket, I'll show you guys how I modified it, if it works. You see right here, it's got a little lip, all right, around this O-ring. You see that big lip right there? All right, it's on both sides. And all I freaking need, I don't know if you guys can see it here, all I need is about 1 millimeter of gap, of room, you know, to fit this in there. So I was thinking I might actually use my bastard file here, or my grinder, my bench grinder out there, and file down these ends on both ends and make this work on the boat, and then buff it up, have an aluminum ends on both sides, and see if I can make that jacket work. Okay, and the only thing that's preventing me from doing it in this video is it may take a little while. I'm trying to do a fast video, and only thing I have to worry about is where that O-ring falls at with my screws. But if it actually falls on top of the screw, okay, or somewhere in there, and I have a little air leak, I've used silicone or marine adhesive to put over those screws around the can, and it'll actually seal it up pretty good. It works if I had the air leak. So let's get back to this. I'm trying to do a short video for you guys. Hopefully I can do it in less than 7 minutes or 8 minutes. Probably not. Alright, that's going to work out good. It's nice and neat. Okay, it's actually going to be held in place by the motor wire there. Alright, and the cooling line is going to kind of hold it down. That's going to work. It's going to work. So let's go ahead and get this one on. Yeah, I can't wait to get this boat in the water. Kind of been working on my drag boat. Like I said a while ago, I put the ride surfaces on the sponsons on my drag boat. I'll show you in the next video, I think. I didn't video it because it's tedious and you guys don't want to sit through another 30-minute video. Alright, so we got that one on. Okay, and this is going to go to the ESC. Okay, right there. Alright, got cooling to the motor. This is my out. Like I said, I used the brass tube press fitted into the silicone tube so it doesn't move. Alright, I'm pushing on it hard. It's not moving. Okay, and where's a good, man, I wish I could run that under the ESC here. Let's see. So this is a water-cooled motor mount. So if I wanted to, I could actually run my water cooling, which by the way, on your RC boat, you want your in on your water cooling jacket, you want the in on the back of the motor, and you're out on the front of the motor. What happens, the water comes in, it fills the can up, and your out is at the highest position. You get best cooling that way. So what I could do is run water cooling to the front of my motor and out the boat. Okay, so we have in, out, in the motor mount, and out the boat. What that's going to do is it's actually going to slow down the flow. So I'll probably just go out like that. Boom, boom, done. All right, so what I like to do, especially with my high-speed boats, okay, I use a little piece, a little slither of coolant line. All right, maybe 6-7 millimeters long. I'll get me some needle nose pliers, like actual needle nose pliers. I've found that works the best. You guys see how I do it right here. I'll actually open up that silicone coolant line, that little slither, slide my main coolant line in it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, and slide it on the nipple. That actually does a really, really good job of holding the coolant lines on the nipples, especially if you have smaller nipples. If you have these larger nipples that say come on like the Flycolor 150, they actually hold the coolant lines on pretty good. They're real long, okay, and they're actually like a 4 millimeter outside diameter. If you have like a smaller nipple, like say like what's on this motor mount, okay, it's a lot shorter and it's smaller in diameter, and these larger oversized lines tend to fall off, so I like to use those silicone coolant lines. So let's go ahead and cut these to size. We need to cut them to fit on the rudder, one on the blast pickup. I need to make them long enough so I can switch them over and around in case one of my electronics is getting hotter than the other. So that actually kind of brings me to a point right here. I actually need my coolant lines to stay in place, and what I like to do to make a coolant line conform or stay in a position, I'll actually take and I'll twist my coolant line, okay, and put it on the nipple twisted. All right, this is just to show you guys how it's done and how it will stay. This is not how I'm going to run it, but it'll actually conform and stay where you put it. So you can actually twist it the other way and see if you can get it to conform and stay where you want it. So like right there, it would actually be touching my collet. That's no bueno. So we're going to actually twist it the opposite way, see where it lays at. Okay, probably not right there. Maybe a little bit more twist in it so she lays down some. Boom. Okay, something like that. All right, so back here, probably end up doing the same thing, twisting my lines in the hole right here, and it'll kind of hold my hard lines in place. All right, so I want to cut these long enough so that they'll interchange. I can put it here or I can put it here. So need plenty of coolant line, because coolant line will actually constrict the movement of your rudder in some cases and put over or more strain on your servo. So you want to actually make sure you have plenty of coolant line to your rudder. I'm going to cut mine a little bit long just because I'm freaking human. Alright, and I'm going to go here, make sure I can put it there, make sure I can put it there. That looks good. Boom, boom, boom. Done, done, done. I'll actually take and cut a little piece of silicone line for my rudder here so it don't blow off the nipple, because that's a smaller nipple from Proboat. Go ahead and put that on. Okay, squeeze it on the coolant line like we did in the motor there. Boom, boom, boom. It's not going to fall off that blast pickup because it's an oversized brass tube. Done. Done. Great. Googly moogly. Great. Googly moogly. Oh, I tried to make an 8-minute video. No bueno. About 15 minutes, I guess. Alright, so we got coolant in to our tube, from the tube to the motor, and out the boat. Okay? From the rudder to the ESC, out the ESC, out the boat. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Next video we'll hook up the ESC, the servo, finalize everything, and get this bad boy on the water. We'll see you guys next time. Big B with Ironclad RC.